Hi guys, Scott here from TEPIS Paranormal, and I'm back with day 22 of the TEPIS Paranormal Christmas Advent Calendar. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tower of London. The Tower of London is a castle found on the north bank of the River Thames in London. Following his victory in the Battle of Hastings in 1066, Duke of Normandy, William the Conqueror, sent an advance party to prepare for his arrival in London and to found a castle. Construction on the White Tower, from which the castle gets its name, is said to have begun in 1078, with Gundulf, Bishop of Rochester, responsible for the construction and design. Construction on the tower is said to have completed by 1100, at which point William the Conqueror had been dead for 13 years. In 1097, King William ordered a wall to be built around the tower, at which point it began serving as a prison. One of the first inmates of the tower was Ranulph Flambard, the Bishop of Durham, who was charged with selling administrative positions within the church for money. Flambard is known as both the first inmate of the Tower of London as well as the first person to escape. Through the years, further monarchs took over the tower, with various steps being taken to fortify the complex. In 1190, construction of the bell tower began and finished in 1210. The bell was intended to be rung in case of emergencies such as fires or enemy attacks. Also in 1190, the Wardrobe Tower was commissioned. This tower was completed in 1199 and was used to hold royal garments as well as the crown jewels of England. In 1220, King Henry III began construction of the Wakefield and Lanhorne Towers. Historically, the Lanhorne Tower featured a lantern on the top to help guide ships that were entering the port of London along the Thames. At some point in the late 1200s, King Edward I ordered the construction of a mint within the Tower of London, which would make the country's coins for hundreds of years to come, with a mint still in use until 1968. Further to this, since 1485, the tower has been guarded by security known as the Yemen Warders, or more commonly, the Beefeaters. When the tower served as a prison, it became the preferred incarceration site of anyone deemed a threat to national security. Though a prison, not all prisoners suffered terrible conditions, with wealthy inmates allowed to live in luxurious conditions and even allowed to go on hunting trips. One example of this was Scottish King John Balliol, who was able to bring his servants, dog, and even his wife with him upon his imprisonment at the tower. The tower was also a common site of many executions, with large numbers of prisoners executed by either beheading, firing squad, or hanging. Sir Thomas More was beheaded in the tower after refusing to recognise King Henry VIII as head of the Church of England. Henry's second wife, Anne Boleyn, was beheaded within the tower's grounds in 1536, and Henry's fifth wife, Catherine Howard, who we previously mentioned in the Hampton Court Palace video, was brought to the palace, where she too was beheaded in 1542. Both wives were buried at the tower in unmarked graves. Famed Catholic Guy Fawkes was also executed in the tower in 1606 for his role in the plot to blow up Parliament, from which Guy Fawkes Night is still celebrated on November the 5th. The tower has been a tourist attraction since the late 1800s, and during World War I, 11 German spies were executed within. The tower survived this war with minor damage after a bomb was dropped in the moat. However, it was less lucky in World War II, when it suffered significant damage during bombings, with several buildings destroyed. The tower continued to serve as a prison during this time, with Hitler's second-in-command, Rudolf Hess, being imprisoned there in 1941. Additionally, the last person executed at the tower was Nazi spy Josef Jacobs in 1941. Due to the tower's long history, it has several rumoured hauntings within. The first of these are the spirits of two young boys, thought to be Princes Edward V and Richard, Duke of York, who were said to have been murdered by their uncle Richard III in 1483 at the tower. It's said that these shadowy figures are often seen in the White Tower holding hands while drifting between rooms. The second ghost commonly reported at the tower is of Henry VIII's second wife, the beheaded Anne Boleyn, whose ghost is said to have been seen wandering around various areas of the Tower of London. Commonly, it's said that her headless torso paces around the tower at night and is seen in the chapel of St. Peter, where she was buried. It's on official record that in 1864, a soldier guarding the tower saw the headless figure and in a panic tried to stab the ghost with a bayonet. Of course, the bayonet went straight through the figure, at which point the guard fainted. Anne's ghost was also sighted by a captain of the guard, who while patrolling the tower at night, saw a flickering light in the castle chapel. Upon investigation and peering through a window, he saw a group of various people inside. At the centre was Anne Boleyn. The captain watched for a few moments before the light faded and the ghost vanished before his very eyes. Again sighted in the White Tower is a spectre of a woman dressed in white, Often this figure is caught by visitors out of the corner of their eyes, and the sudden overpowering smell of old perfume fills the air. It's not just human spirits that haunt the tower, however. In Tudor times, a variety of animals were stored within, and to this day there are stories of lion roars being heard through the tower at night. Phantom horses with blazing red eyes have also been seen at the tower, and in the 1800s, a sentry at the tower saw a huge bear-like figure coming out of a door. Upon trying to stab it with his bayonet, it passed right through, at which point the man fainted and died several days later. Finally, one of the most popular tower exhibits, the old armour of King Henry VIII, is said to be possessed. Regular reports from guards and guests of being strangled and choked by unseen spirits occur. The only thing that these have in common is the location, the room in which Henry VIII's armour is kept. When the armour was moved around the tower, the occurrences would follow, leading many to believe that it's possessed by a spirit intent on strangling and harming the living. So, is this old London fortification really haunted by the spirits of the past? Does the headless ghost of Anne Boleyn really haunt the tower grounds, and are animals from the past forced to remain within to this day? Are the young spirits of two princes murdered by their uncle forced to roam the tower for eternity? Many ghost tours occur near the tower, however I can't find any paranormal investigations that have taken place within, and due to the high security of the location, it's unlikely that any will happen anytime soon. Although, with it being a tourist attraction, it is possible that visitors may capture evidence that can prove whether the castle is haunted or not. But for now, I've been Scott from TEPIS Paranormal, and this has been day 22 of the TEPIS Paranormal Christmas Advent Calendar. I'll see you tomorrow.